I don't respect nice guys. I love bad boys. What's up, everyone? My name is Tabby, and I want to tell you about how I rejected the stupid, boring guy Dave for a troublemaker named Toney. When you hear this story, I'm pretty sure that all of you will think I did the right thing because Dave was so boring and lame. Anyways, I live in a small town named Libertyville, Illinois, and I'm a cheerleader at my high school. All of the boys like me because I have a really fun personality. During my freshman year, I met this guy named Dave, who asked me to the homecoming dance. He was pretty good looking and smart, but was also so nice to me that I couldn't respect him. He would pass me these pathetic notes telling me that he wanted to take me for a date to my favorite restaurant, Starbucks, or that he'd be the luckiest boy on earth if he could just take me for a walk. My reaction was always exactly the same. I'd roll my eyes and say, seriously? Whatever. Psh. For some reason, this nerdy, dorky, small loser couldn't get it in his head that he didn't have a chance with me. I was a cheerleader, for God's sake. This all changed when I found out that the most popular girl in school, Heather, thought he was cute. One day in the locker room when we were all changing, she just kept talking about Dave in a way that I knew she had a crush on him. I hated Heather. She was, let's say, the curviest girl in our class, but she would literally wear t-shirts for little kids. The guys were obsessed with her. That was the only reason she was popular. I personally thought she looked like a trashy airhead. But okay, whatever. I'll keep my opinions to myself about that floozy. I approached Dave that day and said, "Fine, you can take me to Starbucks, but only under the condition that we go there when Heather is working." See, Heather was a cashier, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to show her what a trashy lowlife she was compared to me. Dave, with this beta male smile, said he would see me at Starbucks at 4 p.m. after school. Well, you guessed it. I stood that loser up. No way was I about to actually go out with Dave, and when he was waiting, he sent me the most hilarious text messages. 4:45 p.m. Tabby, don't worry about being late. I got us the best table in Starbucks, and we'll buy you anything you want when you get here. 5:55 p.m. Hey there, is everything okay? I've been waiting for almost 2 hours, and now I'm starting to worry that something bad happened to you. I'd never forgive myself if you needed support and I wasn't there for you. Seriously? Can you believe this? What a desperate loser this guy is. 8 o'clock p.m. Okay, I guess that you might not be coming. I explained to the waitstaff here that I was expecting you, and so I prepared a $50 gift card and left it for you in case you were just running late. This way you can enjoy a coffee on me. I'm sorry that I missed you. Can you believe it? That pathetic excuse for a man waited on me for 4 hours, and he was so spineless that he even left a gift card for me. What he didn't know is that I was with my cheerleader friends, reading his messages out loud and making fun of him. They all agreed that Dave was a loser. One of my friend's brothers, Toney, was also hanging out and listening in on the whole situation. Toney was about 5 years older and was exactly the type of guy that interested me. He was muscular and had tattoos. He drove a Pontiac Firebird that was so loud you could hear him from a mile away. It seemed like he always had a great girl in the passenger seat. I just dreamt maybe someday it could be me. But the best thing about Toney was that he was a rebel. He quit high school. He got into lots of trouble with the police. He was always on probation or in prison. I knew he was trouble, but that is what made him so dreamy. Anyways, Toney jokingly suggested that him and I could go to Starbucks together and let the loser Dave pay for our date with the gift card he left. I couldn't believe my ears. A date with Toney? I enthusiastically agreed. My friends just rolled their eyes because I knew they were jealous. We drove over to Starbucks at 9 p.m. I walked up to Heather, who was behind the cash register, and said, "My date and I need to order $50 worth of coffee with the money that loser Dave left for me." She looked disturbed, and I knew it was because she was jealous that I had 2 guys after me. Toney and I spent the next hour drinking coffee and talking about what a moron Dave was. Toney said that if I wanted to, I could set another date with Dave, make him pay for everything, and then afterwards, Toney would come over and beat him up for me. I started blushing and trembling with excitement. I didn't know what came over me, but I just started kissing Toney, and let's just say that him and I became very close that evening. Anyways. The next day at school, I told Dave that I knew I stood him up, but that he should take me for coffee again today. He said that he spent the last $50, but that he could borrow some money from his parents, and that he'd really like to have a second chance. Like loser. That day, after school, I actually arrived at the cafe early because I was so excited to see Toney earn my love by humiliating Dave in front of everyone. Dave arrived punctually, dressed in a suit with a red flower. I could tell that this date meant a lot to him. I hate to admit it, but he actually looked very nice. Even if he was so small, I could kind of understand why Heather notices him. He politely said, "Hello, my lady. I see you found the table I reserved for us," presenting me a bouquet of flowers. Dave was very proud and confident. In that moment, I got butterflies at the thought of all of it. Here was Dave, thinking he was Mr. Casanova or something, when any moment he was going to face Toney. We sat down at the table with our coffee when I could hear the distinct sound of Toney's car arriving. Dave also noticed the sound of the car, and to my surprise, commented on it. "You hear that? That belongs to Toney Johnson. The guy is such a burnout. He quit school and now bags groceries for a living. He has a busted tailpipe, which is why his car sounds that way." Only moments later, Toney arrived and aggressively approached our table. Dave looked terrified, and I was also a little scared, but excited at the same time. Toney said, "You're with my girl. Stand up. We're going outside." Dave was like, "Come on, man. It's cool. Let me buy you a coffee. This must be a misunderstanding." Toney chuckled. "I still got $10 on that gift card you bought for Tabby yesterday, so I don't think you need to buy me anything. Keep your worthless money." Dave nervously stood up, and out of nowhere, Toney just decked him right in the face. I shyly smiled and told Toney that Dave had been mocking his car. He even said that the tailpipe was busted. Toney got furious and said, "What did you say? No one talks about my car that way. I'll show you a broken tailpipe." Dave had a bloody nose and was crying at this point. He just turned around to leave like a sissy. As he was walking away, Toney furiously shouted, "Didn't you hear me? No one talks about my car that way. Get over here! I'll show you a broken tailpipe." Toney jumped up and ninja kicked Dave right in the tailbone, and everyone could hear a horrible cracking sound. It was so gross. Coffee spilled everywhere. Dave was on the floor screaming that he couldn't feel his legs. My heart sank for Toney. Heather, still looking jealous, cried out in terror from behind the counter and said she was calling the police. Toney said, "Come on, we have to get out of here." Before we even got to the car, the cops had arrived to apprehend my knight in shining armor. Unfortunately, because Toney broke Dave's tailbone, he was arrested for assault. And since it was his third offense, he went to prison for many years. Now I go to visit him a few times a month, and because of our special evening together, I am happy to announce that in 9 months, there will be a little Toney on the way. As happy as I am to have Toney, I'm actually a little bit scared because I don't have any money, and I don't know how to take care of a baby. I have one idea that I need your advice on. Dave is still sending me these text messages, and even though I don't respect him at all, I was thinking that if I left Toney for him, he could help me pay for and raise the baby. Toney already told me that he wasn't going to pay child support or do any of that crap, which is true because he's in prison. Do you think I made a mistake that put me in this position? What do you guys think I should do to fix it? I will read every one of your comments, so please help me. Also, subscribe to Real Life Stories.